Pay me, pay me, pay me my silver now. Pay me or go to jail. Pay me my silver now.
Redbird.com. I've got a silver update for all you silver bugs, but I did post a discussion I had with Cliff High and Jim Sinclair a long time ago, 2017. Go check that out. I see all the comments in the silver people. I'm shocked. Still don't fully understand what's going on with cryptocurrencies. I'm shocked. There's no excuse for not understanding. But, to each his own, but we're talking, 15 years in. You'd think they'd have a better understanding of what's happening and understand what Bitcoin is and what a breakthrough it was for humanity. But go listen to that interview. Let's talk silver, because we are on the brink of a forced shutdown of the COMEX and the LBMA and even the Shanghai Gold/Silver Exchange. The market rigging, price distortions are so glaringly ridiculous with what's going on behind the scenes, especially in industrial demand. People buy silver as an investment only when the price is going up. When it's going down, they don't necessarily sell it unless they have SLV. They just hang on to it. But you should be buying when the price is low. It's the opposite of what humanity does, but it's true for every investment. We're all into Bitcoin and all the cryptos when the cryptos are running, and they run away and say, why did I ever do it? When they're not, nobody sits there and figures out, okay, why should I be invested in this thing? With silver, I hope you guys, all you crypto guys, understand that silver will blow away any crypto investment you might have had, even Bitcoin. Yes, I said it, even Bitcoin. The returns on silver when it's freely traded. See, Bitcoin didn't have 150, 170 years of price suppression like silver did. We're at a point where the physical demand for solar panels, for cars, for electronics, for everything on the industrial side is exploding higher. 55 to 60% now of what mined goes into that. It is literally, this year's probably going to jump 60 to 65. The next year, 65 to 70%. And why can it do that, you might be asking? How is it possible that so much silver can be used without raising the price? It's because the price is rigged. And the problem with price suppression and price rigging is that you have distortions. And the distortions are happening right now. Really good graph from Jeff Clark, the gold advisor on Twitter, about the silver undersupplied. Silver in deficit for 3 consecutive years, total 430 million ounces. That is nothing compared to what. And now he has a forecast that it's smaller this next year. Everything I see is the silver deficit is growing massively. He's probably using the Silver Institute numbers, which are completely wrong and have been for so long. It's shocking that these guys still underestimate every single year by a long way how much silver is used in the electric car and the photovoltaic. Well, photovoltaic, they put it out there. Electric cars, they keep it in. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So here's the silver survey for this year. And right down here you have demand. Here's electronics and electrical. They have it, last year it went up 6%, and this year they have it going down. There is no reason that I know of, other than make your numbers fit better, for it to go down from 6% to 3%. As a matter of fact, I think it should go up massively. Cars are included in this. Cars, even electric cars and non-electric cars, all of them are consuming so much silver. As a matter of fact, here's a great graph of what's happening in projected electric vehicle sales from 2015 to 2040. I mean, I think it's at 10 million was last year, and they have it going up within the next, next 15 years to 450 million. What? So I think it's consuming 55 to 60 million ounces right now for the cars, and they got it going up 50 times. It can't happen unless all the silver is used for electric cars. And the same thing is going on with solar panels. And I just want to show you this because this really pisses me off from the Silver Institute. Their annual report comes out. When did it come out? What day? Let's find out when it came out. When they posted it. It's like in the middle of the second quarter, I believe. I don't know if they dated it. Yeah, April 2023 is when it's dated. But they already knew that the solar panels were blowing out every known metric at the beginning of the year. They already knew it, and yet they only have for photovoltaics a rise of 15%. I'm like, why? They knew. They already had the first quarter numbers that absolutely blew away all projections. As a matter of fact, they even said it. This is a, where is it here? This is from the Silver News, from the Silver Institute. They just had a conference. Silver Institute presents at the London Bullion Market Association's Global Precious Metals Conference. Now let me read you this. So this guy, Michael DeRezio, the executive director of the Silver Institute, says, turning to the global effort to increase electric vehicle usage, Mr. DeRezio noted that electric vehicle growth in just the first quarter of this year in the United States has increased 56% over 2022. So they already knew there's a massive increase. And yet, they still published, after they knew, they still published that where was it? Damn it. Well, that's the problem. It gets lumped in with electricals. But they knew the first quarter for solar panels is massive. Massive increase. China especially. China's going gangbusters. As a matter of fact, here it is. Here's where we stand right now. Solar installation growth driven by lower costs and advanced technologies in 2023. Driven by soaring electricity prices and more competitive prices for solar LCOEs, new solar installations around the globe are expected to reach 414 gigawatts, and the optimistic forecast 446 by year's end, which would be a 72.4% increase in new total capacity compared to 2022. 72% increase. I was screaming about this months ago because every year they get it way wrong on solar usage of silver. Why are they doing that? Anyway, so we're looking at photovoltaics. Last year it went up 28%, and they're saying this year it's only going up 15%. And I'm screaming like, why do you think that? And now we hear it's up 72.4%. 72.4%. I'm not saying it's silver. It doesn't pan out exactly, because a lot of they're both making new ways to make solar panels without silver, but silver's so cheap. Why get rid of the silver? As a matter of fact, the real new stuff uses even more silver. Even more silver in the new technologies for solar panels, because get more gigawatts out of it. Silver's not even a factor at $23 an ounce. So, of course, this is the distortion we have because of market manipulation. But having the Silver Institute come out every year, they said it was 140 last year. The year before, the projection, they're already a quarter in, remember, the projection for 2022 was 127. So they missed it by a huge margin. 13 million. What's that, like 10%? That's pretty damn big. And the year before, they did, the projection for 2021 was 105. In actuality, it was 113. They are missing every year. And this, it's going to be so ridiculous this year because we're starting from a higher number and the percentage is going to be even higher. Let's say for yucks and giggles, we'll hit the number that I threw out there, 200 million ounces for just solar, for just the solar panels. They would have missed it by 40 million ounces. A massive miss. And what these guys are saying here, that global capacity has increased by 72%. I mean, not all that is silver, but you need a hell of a lot of silver, even in the other parts of solar panel, moving power all around the grid, things like that. Massive uses of silver. So let's just say it's 50%, not the 72, which is projected, and it's going to happen. But how much does that translate into more silver use? We'll find out. Well, we won't find out from the the Silver Institute, but we'll try to find out. I mean, don't get me wrong, Silver Institute. I'm happy you put these things up, but a little more refining in your, especially, you're looking at the past and say, boy, that was a great year. Next year won't be as good, so we're just going to throw this in here. It's like a plug number. They do it for a lot of things. You don't know, like they completely missed the 300 million ounces of silver that was sent to India. How could you not know it? I don't know. Ask around during the year, maybe do adjustments on this thing. I don't know what to tell you, but the silver industry is so deficient in reporting about physical silver, in talking about silver price manipulation, in especially finding new silver mines. For example, let me read you the last paragraph, which is even more important than the one I just read you. This is from the Silver Institute just this month. Again, we'll start with turning to global effort to increase electric vehicle usage. Mr. DiRenzo. Okay, I'm just going to read it all. Screw it. It's one page. The Silver Institute participated this month in a panel titled Silver's Role in the Green Economy at the prestigious LBMA conference in Spain, which had over 850 delegates. Phillips Baker, president and CEO of Hecla Mining and chairman of the Silver Institute, along with the Institute's executive director, Michael DiRenzo, who moderated the panel, and Trevor Keel, PhD, the Institute's technical director, addressed the delegates about silver's role in an energy transition metal. Highlighting silver's important role in the application of solar energy, Mr. Banker underscored that silver's use in solar is not only vital to the application, but also that silver demand for solar use is projected to significantly grow for the foreseeable future. Mr. Keel emphasized that while there are efforts to thrift out silver in this application, silver remains the critical ingredient in making the solar panels function, and it will remain so for quite some time. Turning to the global effort to increase electric vehicle usage, Mr. DiRenzo noted that EV growth in just the first quarter of this year of the United States increased 56% over the same period in 2022. Mr. Keel added that as the complexity of these vehicles continue to evolve, more silver will be required for their functionality. Now, this is the interesting part. Delegates asked Mr. Baker whether we will have enough silver for the green transition. So they're asking the guy in charge of the Silver Institute, or at least the guy who's at this conference, is there enough silver? He replied in the affirmative. Well, if you use your projections, of course there is. Explaining that while the silver market is currently in a structural deficit, above ground stocks of silver will be mobilized to meet demand. So what are above ground stocks of silver? That's investor silver. He's saying investors are going to give up their silver to meet demand for the industrial side because the industrial side is growing. Is that even possible when the price is being rigged so low? I don't think so. I think he's missing the entire argument of why it's so important to have free markets in silver. What he's saying is, yeah, as the price rises, theoretically some people will sell their silver. But without the price rising, and when the price rises, investors buy more. So I think he is woefully hiding. I don't even think he's hiding. He's just used to it. I mean, it's a plug number every year for the Silver Institute. He replied in the affirmative, explaining that while the silver market is currently in a structural deficit, above-ground stocks of silver will be mobilized to meet the demand. He added, however, that there are no new significant silver deposit discoveries at present and that geopolitical issues and mine permitting delays continue to be encumbrances to bringing new sources of mined silver to the market. Wow. So he's saying the supply is falling off a cliff. We don't have any new mines, and it's harder and harder to start up old mines. Demand is through the roof. But don't worry, all the investors will give their silver freely at cheap prices to the industrial side. What's wrong with this sentence? What would it take? What price of silver would you give to other people to use it on the industrial side? What is the price? Because every ounce of silver he's talking about that's going to come from above ground silver is investment silver. Some recycling can be done, but silver's made into such little pieces in each application, not much is going to be done. So the real question here should be, at what price will the current above ground silver holders part with their metals such that the industrial side can get the hundreds of millions of ounces of additional silver that they need to bring out the Green New Deal, the green transmission of energy? At what price? Now, what happens to silver investors when the price starts going up? They want more silver. So you'll have massive competition from the industrial and from the investor side. You can't even draw a better picture for an investment than what you see right now before you in silver. Go get your physical silver. Get it in your own possession. Sit on the sidelines and laugh at these people who think that all the silver investors, because there's a deficit on the industrial side, that silver investors will naturally give away their silver so that these guys can have enough silver to make our flat screen TVs, our electric cars, our cell phones, our electric vehicles. It's just not going to happen. So we sit and we wait. Clearly, they're going to try to start a war, claim force majeure, and shut down the markets. That's my take. It's their only way out. Or naked short for the rest of their lives. I think that dog is already sailed. That ship has already sailed, the dog. That dog don't hunt, the ship has sailed. So yeah, that's where we're at. But again, these numbers coming from the Silver Institute as far as solar panels, everybody knew all year it's going to be a massive year in solar, and yet they only had a 15% increase. So we're going to see this estimation of 161 million ounces in solar panels jump to over 200 million from 140 million. That's my guess, over 200 million, which will mean they're way off again. And then where's that going to come from? They have little plug numbers here at the end. Net investment from exchange-traded products. So they think all the investors in silver of SLV and other places, when the demand is so massively strong and the supply is so massively weak, that people will be selling their silver. I don't see it unless they're idiots. As a matter of fact, I see the opposite. As the price rises because of the supply-demand situation, more and more people will be buying silver. And then the government will come in and declare everything's illegal. That's where we are. I know it's a crazy world, but oh my God, buy your silver now. Go to your local coin shop, number one. Make those introductions. Go buy what he's got in inventory and walk home with it. If you don't have your own guy, you can use my guy. Andy Scheckman at Miles Franklin has helped out 1 million of Road to Ruta customers. Send them an email. info at milesfranklin.com, milesfranklin.com. And Andy will help you out. Get your physical silver before the solar people do, before Elon Musk does, before electric cars do, before everything does. At some point, everything's just going to stop. And it might be coinciding with the war. World War III breaks out. because they need a way out of their naked short position. They need a way out to end the price manipulation of silver. And really the only thing that people would believe is force majeure. Because of the war, we couldn't do this. They do it all the time. Maybe the war is all about silver. I don't know. Maybe it is. We need a war to make sure we don't have an election and we can gracefully get out of the silver rigging operations that have been in business for 170 years. Crazy days, my friend. Get your silver as soon as you can, as much as you can. Only in your own possession, though. Everything else, poof, gone. In your own possession. That's what I got for you. Go to roadtoruler.com and find out more information. Definitely listen to the 3-part discussion with the head of Silver Eagle Sales at the U.S. Mint I had with him. He admits to at least 5 things they are doing illegally right now. Although they're getting better, don't get me wrong. They've increased production to half of what they can do rather than a third, which is what they were shooting for. So lots of pressure. Keep the pressure on the Mint, the Treasury, and your elected officials, and make them do what the Constitution tells them to do and our laws tell them to do. I know it's a stretch for the U.S. Mint to live up to the word of the law, but yeah, it's time. It's time. This is Bix Weir. I'll talk to you later.